Disneyland Paris, the most magical and happy place on earth. At least, that's what they claim. But is this still relevant to this day? That's what we're gonna find out in this very first First things first, I've separated this video in different chapters so it's easier for you to find the topic that you need. I will also be giving my own opinion on every topic out of my own experiences. In this first chapter we're talking about everything until the entrance gates themselves, starting with where is Disneyland Paris? As the name may suggest, Disneyland Paris is located near Paris in France, about an hour and 10 to 20 minutes away from the Eiffel Tower, depending on your way of travel. When you arrive near Disneyland, you end up in a village named Chessy, mainly built and or repurposed to sustain guests staying at the Disney parks. Here you will find more than enough hotels for everyone's budget. You can also decide to stay in a Disney hotel. But since I didn't do this myself and it's quite a bit more expensive than a regular hotel, I won't dig too deep on that topic. At some of the hotels in Chessy, and always at the Disney hotels, there's a free shuttle bus available to bring guests from the hotel to the park and the other way around. This does work well and I would certainly recommend it, but only if you can handle cramped buses and some pushing around, because mainly after the final show later in the evening, getting in a bus can be quite chaotic. Disney is not cheap. Compared to other big European parks, the Studios/Adventure World Park is actually the most expensive, followed by the main park. On a more calm weekday, you pay for the regular park around 75 euros, and for the Studios/Adventure Park, 80 euros. But this spikes on busy weekend days or holidays to over 100 euros a person. Luckily, you can buy tickets that allow entrance to both parks. These are most of the time cheaper and you get the full Disney experience. These combined park tickets start at 100 euros a person to at around 170 euros a person a day. I think this is quite expensive compared to the other great European theme parks, mainly if you remember that parking cost is at least 30 euros a day. In this chapter, I'll be answering the question, what to do in Disney. I'll first be talking about the normal Disney park, the one with the iconic castle. Here you'll find all sorts of attractions, shows, and their iconic parades. Let's start with the attractions and my personal opinion on them. If you're a thrill seeker, Disney is not necessarily the place to be. I would recommend parks like Walibi Belgium or Phantasialand for some quality coasters. But this doesn't mean Disney doesn't have any coasters. Actually, in the main park, the one I'm talking about now, it has 3. We got Indiana Jones at the Temple of Peril, a coaster designed by Werner Stengel and subcontracted by Giovanola. The coaster opened in 1993 and features a 360-degree loop. The ride had some adjustments over the years, but it stayed extremely rough. I would even go as far as saying that most wooden coasters are more smooth than this one. But yeah, for thrill seekers who don't mind this at all, it's a fun ride to do at least once. Another coaster that the Disney park has is the iconic Big Thunder Mountain. This ride full of theming is a must-do for everyone who visits Disney. It was opened in 1992 and actually has a dual load station which greatly increases capacity to a stunning 2,400 riders an hour. It was made by Vekoma and brings you through a tunnel to an island on which the coaster continues. Although there's one major downside to the coaster, if I say so myself. That being that it produces an insane amount of noise. Not only the whistle from the train itself, but mainly the last main lift hill and the scenery around that is just way too loud. They could definitely turn this down. And for the last coaster of this park we have Hyperspace Mountain, a Vekoma-made sit-down launch coaster operating since 1995. This one is for the thrill seekers as it features 3 inversions, all in the dark. But like almost all coasters at Disney, this one is old and therefore a bit janky. I myself like this ride a lot and mainly the launch at the start. It also features a double load station and because of all of this, I would certainly recommend this ride. Disney is a real family park and therefore has a lot of dark rides. Name Phantom Manor, the Haunted House, all the fairy tale themed dark rides where you drive to way too quickly, Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast where you try to shoot at targets and try to beat your family in points, and one of my favorites, Pirates of the Caribbean. where you sail through scenes you might recognize from the movies. These rides are almost all themed great and the areas surrounding them fit the image exactly. Disney really jumps out for the entertainment. Of course the main big final show and the parades, which we'll come back to later. But also the meet and greets with the Disney characters and indoor stage-based entertainment. But of course everyone that knows a little something of Disney knows about the parades and the big final show. You have two kinds of parades. Right now is the Million Splashes of Color parade and the Disney Stars parade. The Million Splashes of Color is being held multiple times a day, in which you get a little show of some Disney characters dancing, singing and waving around. The real big parade is the Disney Stars on parade, which I would definitely recommend watching as all of the characters show up on stunning themed vehicles and drive this route through the park. If I say so myself, it's a true magical moment. Disney Tales of Magic is the grand finale of your day at Disney, with beautiful projections on the castle combined with fireworks and music. Do however pay attention. Preparation for the show starts a lot earlier than the actual show, and the attractions stay open, which, if you want, you can use this time to ride some attractions with little queues. For this chapter I'll be going over the coasters and dark rides of the Studios/Adventure World Park. Since I haven't seen any of the shows over there, my opinion doesn't really count, so I left those out. The first coaster that we'll be talking about used to be the Rock and Roller Coaster, but it has since a couple of years back been rethemed to an Adventures themed coaster. It's been made by Vekoma and launches you up to 91 km an hour. It also features 3 inversions in the form of a Sea Serpent inversion and a corkscrew. This coaster feels kinda the same as Hyperspace Mountain, but is a bit younger, as it opened in 2002. Another fun fact is that it reaches an insane 5 G-forces. All this is indoors. The other coaster in this park is the Crush's Coaster, themed to Crush from the Finding Nemo movie. This coaster doesn't invert but does spin around. It's been made by Mauro Rides, but do notice that because of the smaller capacity, queues can get a little longer. This Disney park definitely has some great outstanding dark rides. Not too long ago they actually opened a brand new one in the theme of the Frozen movies. But my absolute favorite is the Hollywood Tower of Terror, a shoot and drop tower with incredible immersive theming based on the Twilight Zone. But although that might be the best one, you have a lot more dark rides in this park, like for example Spider-Man's Web Adventure, where the attraction sees your movement and based on that lets you shoot webs like Spider-Man himself. So to answer the question, is Disney still magical? I would say yes. Although the park can use a bit of paint here and there, it's still a really good organized and extremely well themed park. I would recommend going there for at least 1 or 2 days to do everything and get the full Disney experience. One more thing, if you have a disability, mentally or physically, you can request a priority card to help with getting in and out of rides or not having to stand in a loud queue. If this video helped you, consider subscribing and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.